Hopeson for higher GC news. Mema Obibia Akwaba. I had the latest hot and enamide bremo. And unti so we subscribe to channel idea bomodia say obe subscribe. The obe say obe clicky a year the subscribe button you know. Now wa barely a year notification you know. We answer new video be upload no. When the first person I want sa ever can a year sa video. Afi we are now like video no. Give us a thumbs up now fi share now for froso na when you be here now who is somewhere ekoso ewo Ghana memo hanum afi yehwe ye ensemo abeto yepono so mumenti ye sanko mo yekoso sa report ya ababeto jai yenti de ekoso
so captain they aka ora ho asem so far so good it's early days yet to pass judgment on President Mahama's government because 1 month there enough. Yes, but I think the signs are so far demonstrating somebody will go back to the bench. We'll see most of his mistakes. Back, he's making amends and trying to do things differently. And I think that is why the last time I was telling you, some of the decisions, executive decisions, are intact. The clarity of thought, that kind of way. So I think so far so good. With this oral thing, I am very familiar with the sort of bastardization started when the committee was set up. People were arguing the legal backing, the legal framework, regulating. Minim when ye hear legal framework and say set up a committee to receive some of these things. But now I catch say no any prosecutorial powers. Say all prosecute will be. They don't have power to set charge or invite or be say chin my information. They are there as a platform and receive just information from Ghanaians. At the end of the day, Omonsaka said the Omonsaka and Roya, what they call president, he will forward it to institutions or more prosecutorial powers to do further digging and investigation on your evidence, not evidence, our value. Our meeting so as standing the test of your prosecution at court, then we proceed in that particular direction. Because about 2 years, a drive over the elections, a perception of corruption. And we got to a point here now it was no longer perception, but faces were rather placed behind the corruption cases and if we drew a point Ghana for be so numb with the issues, but that's all right. And the corruption, if you are you don't even get space to discuss. My cultures are politics, and yeah, sorry, and issues of corruption. But because Gyamfi chair and I say no, captain, a perception and they inform me everything. So at the until last night, my cultures are quite sorry them near the tools so offer will be here. Wait me so me the money, but in politics, me the money is not there. Because it is the perception that informs among for political opinion and the choices that they make. So when you're a politician, as we are government, you must always move in to dispel any notion of corruption. And then so we check here institutions or measure corruption, they use perception. Because I know that they what people see, and they inform their thought and everything. So the move by the president, and I think that is appropriate. It also emboldens public confidence because say in recent times, a man for trust or more in the establishment or government, I reduce you, man for any trust. It got to a point that the government was somewhere, and I say watching what will happen. But if you begin to do some of these things, it will engender and inspire people. Say, oh, Abani is serious. He's really fighting corruption. And I think that the public support now here, you can enlist it to do this particular thing. Because the nature of human being is such that so we nipa, adia captain nipa bayeno, we are naturally dangerous and very corrupt. And he always, man must make sure that there are consequences and repercussions for every decision and choices that you make. But we live in a country where there is no conventional deterrence. The consequences are there. So that you create a free range. And it's the reason why we saw what happened. So this oral thing, the amount of money, the estimation, so what is the sebi now to one we crash show so manya yeti kwa abonten kobo bosia $3 billion yet meet na kroma kwabran need me we are over about 20 billion clearly it say we need to do a lot to salvage the situation. So I think that is a good move that will embolden public confidence. Now said it shouldn't be just populist politics or populist approach. Oh, ya can ya ban a few days, ya bob and crata, and whenever nothing happens. And I don't know the day. A dear Bakwa ebe prove crucial in this fight against corruption has to do with the court. Captain, we need to touch the court. Because I know the day, the whole prosecution is going to happen. We know what happened in the previous administration when there was this desperate attempt to pack the court. The question they say na honorable Sikano, enkonkwaye case ye pia ade nyina kogu ho a 4 years ni di asem no wiye. Ghana for want swift reaction and response. Na enkwaye back and forth. I don't support the idea of setting up Akufo Pencil or fast track high court and as for. I don't support it. But you know, there are ways we can fasten some of these prosecutions. There is real commitment to end up pinning this particular thing because Captain going forward in Sono, it's not just about previous what has happened. What will happen to these people should also send a clear message to people who will be in this government. So politics governance going forward, it's no more business as usual. The mere fact that what this particular government in Muno doesn't give you the license and the audacity to mess up. Mess up a bina be you ama. Now prosecute too. Because that is in politics, the easiest thing to do is to prosecute your political opponent. It's easy. But the raw deal comes when you take upon yourself to prosecute your own people. And I think that is where we need to tell people, say, the rest is yours. So ahemfone asofo na omonam dan achi na ye kopacha wo na so ora we ya aba ya prosecution be sha say enye nwanwa ahemfone asofo be sha se e kopacha ma omonana no mo fase enum. So I know the day the energy aye de yes ade we nyina no wo be he na ni nyina akofom. I know the day Obia Belusu God and everything goes. Then we come to an era of corruption once again where people think say politics is an avenue I can easily make money and get away. Captain, now this hostile intrusion, a lot of people, everybody want to do politics. Because that is the easiest way to make money in this country. Because there are no consequences for actions I think that we really need to send a message say governance, ya kwenya ya dia money privileged position for unim dia no wunyan saboa na yan chichiro man sebeya ado the ordinary and the average Ghanaian na all need those opportunities ne privileges na wo no ono benya that particular benefit na be an avenue a conduit where people go make money. I know they get away, there are no consequences. Now no na make sure South Korea I'm president and na man investigators called Konano because of issues of corruption. I know what happened. The whole sitting president was investigated. And this is the height that these people have elevated the fight against corruption to. By the other day, easily, but those who are stealing millions of dollars, they get away. So I think there is a wake-up call for all of us. Issues of corruption as a future prominently in this administration because one of the reasons Ghanaians voted, we don't want to see corruption. Yes, and you cannot afford to fail the people. And the first, you need to pay few people in the media. You control the political narrative. The corruption, and that win to me, Captain. The space has widened. And yesterday now I was telling somebody saying that there are no consumers of news anywhere. We are all prosumers. We are producing and consuming at the same time. Yeah. Because once you have the capacity to go on social media and post, you are producing news. You read Obidia, you are also at the same time consuming. So we are all prosumers. The platform has widened with this new innovative tech platforms. You can't control the narrative anymore. Wouldn't even come out. Few traditional media can almost set the agenda and people will discuss government. And you see the youth are becoming wide awakened and enlightened, following issues of politics with keen interest. And this they can easily tap on their phone, do comparative analysis, or they compare other countries, this is wrong and so forth. So the best thing any government can survive in this country, and they say, obey the right thing. Now what making sure say you serve the people diligently. Now issues of corruption and as for bar, obey show real commitment. Now ya fighting. Because like I said, with this new government, Ghana for are not expecting governments and now mobi cash at the bottom. Do the right thing, and that is all that the people of this country want. Captain, you don't understand the veil of desperation hanging around this country. Young people come out of the university. There is absolutely nothing that they can do for themselves. And I know a lot of people are with degree programs and so forth, but they are traveling to Middle East and other places just to work for money. And sometimes working conditions out there. It's so funny. Sometimes you begin to wonder. But these people are going because on minor team, no, captain, opportunities be any hot. The last time I can't actually about your mineral regime, my old chroma say, yet me gold, ye diamond, nano ye lithium, na ya from for moment jimuntu na moment 10%. Sometimes you begin to wonder why first why you. And this initiative, no, also in the community, the people there are deprived. The last time we spoke about Obuasi, and now Obuasi land and answer to the extent there is nothing that any young person living at that particular place, can use the land to do. Yeah, to assassinating you know, say now no lithium. We spoke wisdom to the president, but he was not amenable to those concerns being raised by the people. At the end of the day, the lithium now. You know very well, so lithium is the new gold because the world is going green.
That's right.
And when you have such natural resources, what you have to do is say you partner companies or more resources, you pay them, you own the thing, you set up a plant, you create job opportunities and incentive for people. But now you 21st century, you quite tenancy, aquacoton gold, you aquacoton lithium, no. Say 10%. We were celebrating these things. Now no one who's a Botswana. Your friends saying. Diamond company, one of the biggest diamond extraction company in Botswana. They've gone to the stance of doing 50-50 at this time. Even though me 50-50 I disagree.
Yeah, sure.
You understand? By 1090, 1585. Now how a man for a language in poverty, where people are being impoverished in this country, especially in this community, the veil of hopelessness. People traveling Ghana for Mugu Libya because but the opportunities are not there. I think the government needs to sit up. You see, there is a lot to do. That is why the last time I mean, who's about your more be position no more jubilating. Me say this is no time to be jubilating. No, sure. Because you don't understand the enormity of that has been given to you. You mess it up. There you see how Ghanaians will go after you. You understand? The mere fact that people voted for NDC doesn't mean that you come and mess up and everybody will go quiet. No, you need to take into cognizance that particular support now, the confidence now, and you deliver on that, so that Amamfo will continue to invest that particular trust. Now you build the governance. Now you reposition your friends at Ghana. Now you changing the political narrative. Now people will not assume say, oh, politics is a chrono. Now mum, you say a avenue. You the build of mine. Now you nim the phone and as for the bedroom. Now adventure. Now you the achichere of mine or mine. And you fertile avenue to come make money, and then I know they take care of your family. You take your family outside and as for no. That is the notion we are seeking to kill. So I think that so far so good. Okudzeto the team on my idea, and those on the other side are now more engaging in this cynicism, creating an impression. Say you're witch hunting. Captain, we are witcher. You will be hunted. So we are witcher. You will be hunted. Now, how on saying, so when why you're born here, then you should be worried. Because it is not the president that is going to prosecute you. It is the people of this country. Because about President Mahama campaign, I checked some of the indices among for year. Do you know that one of the reasons people voted for him the aura?
Oh yes.
Yes. One of the campaign promises gaining a lot of traction because we got to a point you say corruption among for real to a point I would describe it. So the only way is to come out with such an initiative to recover that particular thing. And to overpower, you cannot afford. Is the reason why I'm happy. Say one of his earliest decisions that he took at the time, showing commitment and the respect for the people of this country, said, this is what I told you. This is what I'm going to do. And that energy, now you pursue this particular thing. You're making sure, say, yes, set to the stage. And the Ghana, we've established that conventional deterrent so far as corruptions are concerned. Oba, you will be prosecuted, you will be hunted. And trust me, there are a lot we can do to save this country. And yes, sir, Captain, on my way, you better politics are dirty, and this MPP politics, depending on where you stand across the political divide, and the bear inform your opinion. So assembly a wrong crowd, you defend it, we all get away. I think that now Ghana for a wider awakening. they are following the issues. It's the merit and among for not the other side, the politics and the emotional activism. We are looking at the political, the governance aspect about Boama Ghana for a DE. And I think that is what we need to come do. The government, the government will be able to enlist the collective strength and the support of all Ghanaians to rebuild the Ghana we all want. And I think that is the best way.
All right. And then we came about come power, but Council of State, Honorable Kakra. Na Ivan Fakakra so na fe. Ya kon chene so.
Okay.
Ya kan chene ho asem.
Council of State. Say na odi kan kan ene na omoto omoso aba. Na 16 regions no obia be yi nipa baako e de abeka ho. Na President ewe kwenya so ofa nipa baako 15 edeka ho emu 4 no ye some guarded former IGP, former Chief Justice,
former CDS.
So those and the regional house of national house of chief,
the president of the national house of chiefs, yes.
Na ono na 11 account na near Udi can say omuna 2 present for, but Ghana constitution is say on your binding.
Yeah.
So na udi can no. Then say a foot will be at the sanity. Me to foot me say captain. O program ye ni say ya. My green am actually. But it's not binding on you.
What can we
So, but we are praying say regions now to abandon 2 assembly members from each district. Obako to abano on obako to abano. Omonhwe nipa sebio owonim de ewo amambu ho na obetumi aboa president. Niamano bebre wo ho a this president dane de ma omo for omo afuto. Even appointments bi no kura wo ho a say ese oji afuto free omo ho ansana sa appointments no adimu. So ndebe hia nipa omo ye level headed. Said papa we die so okoka president ho na otunufo a obetunufo a ebeboa Ghana fo ebi ni say ye ka corruption any bribery asin katashe ne proye na ebia nipa no a oti ne community no kra no nipa na dodo na omo ye nipa atitru for pa na omo dodo no ya ahemfo aye nim sene ebia oye ohene no oman hene ananse ohene bia the area omo nim dwuma odi so odwuma odi na say dwuma ne di no ho adanse se oba obetumi abeye na enya ne oba bepe no ho ananse ye kase na corruption ne bribery na ono nso so already kra mu ni say ne ho ebon oniama bi ho so e be stress delegates no they should look at things very well. And normally sa electoral college system no ewe ye side of the country and I say world na electoral college system no emwa bebre because the numbers are very few and obi wo ha he can marshal all the resources to just buy the few. My region like the nipa 22 na ekotoaba 11 districts nipa 22 so obi a nani abre pass and answer or bibisa you know he can easily influence the delegates with money. I have to say there are just 6 districts 12 and ekotoaba oko savannah nipa 12 northeast the same thing so nipa 12 there you can easily but ni nyina mu no a gentleman does not refuse an offer a offer na nipa ne de ma but a man in toward so when you say a pay party ya dane sika ya dane sa position we mana eniama enkoyie but san say wa mo sika ntino and also he's the highest bid than na bia yakoto aba amano because the man present JM nani abre say obeye adwuma enti ese nya nipa ono nso betumi ayede aboa no ama eniema watoto niema yie na say sana ye kokotwa no troka na che say ye koye ana say ye buy enti captain the best the delegates no enye ye na council of state no so ni obawi ni bia no so no ye man ne trinkwa na ya sere ne so no so dwumadie na omo de be shan nsan no eye dwumadie so nwa so pa omo ba omo nya ni eyie emaye Ghana ho hia ye nyina.
All right. And to say you di kan katre wo no ebi koso na obi anwe obi so dia wo ho omo enwe ne ko kakran Northern region inipan nine ene gina se yento won so aba Alhaji Mohammed Mumuni Richard Andani Yakubu Enafe Inyandi Abdul Rakub ene Adam Hussein Enipa ekọ ho se wo kwoto abani na ye 32 Watu wie no na Adam Hussein wenye 0 obi anto ama no Inyandi Abdul Rakub wenye 2 adenam so mu di fiase ekọ soro to di ode asepa ni nya 0 ena Richard Andani Yakubu sunya 4 ena Alhaji Mohammed Mumuni unya 26 wow enti se ya me no ka say no Alhaji Mohammed Mumuni ono na ye Council of State member elect Emma Northern Region
I'm a former MP
Bachane
okay
ti ono se ya me no ka say Northern Region police abeti bi ato so ye yi ono preko nya dia o mo chekura o mo nchere ho kura 943 ya kan awie yi no to Northern Region ato ne de awie ayi nipa obegina one name so mo Council of State member Lucas Yerian and a presiding officer o hweye ema bato yi etimi eko so fe ti se ya me no kasa ide obi atene ho ase agent no Abdullah Baba ne jire mu ma Alhaji Mohammed Mumuni dini de aka no nkrofo no mo trote se doctor fo enti me hu bi ye me hu Abubakar wo ho Sadat on jire mu ma Adam Hussein ene wo aka ne one doctor Adina ejine mu ma Yandi Abdul Rakub enti Northern Region yewie ya to yewie mo wini ni win wa win ni nso na eno anu no echofio
asemo
enti eno na Net2 TV no so no ti say out of 16 ye de ba ko a kire o de akade na ye de betoto aso matese Central Region enso ato awie ena bono awie ahafo ato awie Volta ato awie Eastern ato awie Greater Accra Foguso enti ye de bebre wansan ya sore yakọ ibe hu de
Captain, sir, over the composition of Council of State, you and I will admit, sir, composed of revered individuals and penning for ahemfo akese are Ghana for respect for them. But in the last 8 years, I mean, open one institution Ghana for bastardizing a pa na a Council of State. It got to a point Ghanaians were rendering it useless. So it was one of the most useless institutions in Adentia. Because the core mandate are not Ghana for expected from them. Say that is not what we were seeing. Because it got to a point that now president was taking reckless decisions. I said, now why need to buy for? And do as a council of state, and they two are buying for. I understand advice is not binding. Said the AC cannot power, no power, but I also believe that we two will be for now consistently or say on fire. The best thing you can do is to resign. That's all. Because you don't sit there and be taking fat salaries and enjoy those things when the person you're advising, you know, is so intransigent. So am I gonna for lose respect for that particular your friends council of state? May until we redefine it and assign a different rule, and I said you better define rules or play clearly. No, I'm not too convinced about the impact the council of state will have on our governance system. I know that there are huge money in a year through but if you are being paid, I think that people should be able to assess at their value. But if it is advice is not binding. I know that the president is not under any instruction to take whatever that is being said to him or whatever. So I think constitutional review now, we need to take some of these things into consideration. Now you look at the functions of the Council of State. Now you're making sure that it look relevant in the eyes of Ghanaians. Because it's not just about the people in, it is about how people see what you're doing and how they accept and appreciate it. And I think that and then they drive with this particular conversation. And then you cry now walk and yes, sure say among for when say about Council of State to be our baby. People don't know. People are not interested. You understand? Actually, the value I lose you in recent times because of what happened in the last 8 years. In the past, you know, na idea back what's here, na it comes with some veneration. But for the last 8 years, so individuals going in, though, I think that they have a responsibility just to ensure, say, I rebuild the tattered image of the Council of State. Now you are rebranding it to a point. Ghana for me who say, "Sabi emfaso so a juma mudia yeno enunye." That is the only way. And yes, sir, Captain. You bet me to a year man for the Marco, you turn out to be the same thing, and Fasobia muscle. So they have a responsibility. Yeah, to a barman, it's not just a make hokeke, or make impact, make your impact. Yeah, then I will Ghana for feel say, these people are doing this, and I'm almost so another day, say, yeah, Tanasia says, Obia way, you behu your hand in the way and manner things are going, and that is the only way Ghanaians will appreciate. And Captain, answer me can't we honorable and not Dompreh.
To say NDC MPP.
Yes.
Oh.
I wonder why the IGP arrested by this time. Captain, because you cannot make such reckless statement in public and get away with it. And as you know, and as if nothing has happened. Say an ordinary person being a making this particular statement. A violence and are inciting, and this is a person who is supposed to be an honorable person representing people in parliament. When you do that, you drag everybody around you into the mud. Then people begin to question whether you deserve the prefix honorable or not. And I've seen a lot of social media debate. I know that it's because of this behavior. And in recent times, Yehu Niema Akoso, was it not the same gentleman who could parliament because NDC for saying so it's okay. Abra galamsey issue about ye debate. And the same thing, and our committee shall say on behavior air ye bubu microphone in as a forum is the same person at the center of way, and then Yababedruha. I think say you see, say the Jumadia Shawansa, Captain, it doesn't mean that when you mean such a Ubiao. And at this point in time, you are the person who can help us deliver this. And I think that we need to replicate that by respecting the people. By speaking in the way I said, but consistently you go crazy, make loose, reckless statements, and you think that people respect you for being just honorable. No. I like Speaker of Parliament when he told them the honorable members. Before people will respect us, we need to respect ourselves. What is going on in Parliament? It's so embarrassing. It's not everybody do, but Captain, when you sit around and the perception and the impression people are having about this particular thing going on, it's not nice. And you can't be making such reckless statements and get away with it. So I'm employing the IGP. Say what? Because who's a man for the toy gun, a video, social media, or dear chile kwachiobo. Mahuso bia video safi baby or in some kind of police for draw ya kwakwache no asema papa na kan ye no I think he must be arrested and I say yam friend no na o mechirechirem because or endanger the life of people. Ghana no na you know ya bedu a point among 40 politics ase so sa nsem hunu no o kan kro obi amfiu but there are other people one way ya omonso no be carry on with those things. Right. We can't live in a country where people will be making such reckless statements and in the name of whatever they just get away with it. I think the IGP must rise to the occasion. Now we show leadership say we do not condone such things. And the NDC majority in parliament, they have the absolute numbers. But I think that they cannot afford to show weakness. Captain, numbers now all parliament is here. The NDC has absolute majority. The minority cannot influence anything. So psychologically, what you can do is to create a scene, create hostility, aggression. Say your presence will be felt. Yet to about when they're running the show, is it not a minority? They are running the show. Do you know why? Because they don't have the numbers to influence any decision. The only way they can do is to ensure that they create that hostile environment for you so that you cannot do whatever you're doing. Politics, any Pentecost meeting, no, you need to show people say you are not weak. If you have power, you need to project that power. Ofori Atta and the minority then, the NDC, when they unpassed all of them, Edru Okudzeto ne ya say Sam Georges no, abrante weji water so ahoro ne nsa. Na ye pobi ahoro ye nsa wa nka nye Ofori Atta because at the time I call for the second betting no, na wa bobo senior to the sense I can ho ahwe ma na nye. Ghana for were angry. They were looking for said that guy will not get a pass. But NDC and call washing and sa ewo ne ho. But this time round, Okudzeto nya hwe the oya na say oboa to fight corruption. Sam George the oya na say otchere na dwen. But Afenyo Markins and Kojo so I'm telling you say unya power. You need to project power. Politics is not Pentecost meeting. You need to show and project that power just to let your colleague who say we are weak. Because once you show weakness, you are done. And I see that signs of weakness in the other side, even though they have the majority. I think they need to tell their colleagues on the other side say they are not weak. They have absolute majority and they are in charge and they are running the show.
Bam. I don't know what to now.
Well, that did not me over, but not me also.
Okay, baby, and then I say 8th parliament, 9th parliament, no. As a more young idea to say, Kuala Mudin, the team agro. Why?
I say, Captain, I say, the 8th parliament was a very unique parliament. And for the first time, we had a hung parliament. Or, in other words, we say a balance. 137, 137. Now, independent. Yeah. So there was that struggle for recognition or whatever I should say, well, and the way we did things was different. And a presentee Ghana for with opportunity to make certain amends. And the first group to take the step was Parliament to amend our standing orders. Say, yeah, the standing orders. Yeah, Green must say a Chinevino
hang Parliament.
Hang the Parliament will happen. It is a hang Parliament by. So hang Parliament now and take advantage of things that has happened. Nayamfa new standing orders to reflect going in the future. The same thing, our constitution also did not also make provision. Say, when we in a situation now, when you be so resolve. And the command say, if Parliament a year and yama be at a point, parliamentary proceedings they call judiciary.
Yo, for winning and somewhere about beto yep so because so we can subscribe to channel idea but say obe subscribe so say had the latest and hot news and kwa na me de bremo afi we na our like video no give us a thumbs up na fi share ma ofoforo so na when you be here na wo hu and somewhere ekoso e wo Ghana me mu hanom so betimi otchere wadwen afaye and somewhere nyina ho e wo comment box mu weti minkabium in my next video.
Thanks for watching. Like and share the video. You can also drop your comment. Please don't forget to subscribe. Click on the bell to turn on the notification.